Oh, we're in. Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. You join me here today. It's towards the end of April, it's April the 19th. It's a Friday afternoon. I've clocked off work early, it's just gone noon. As you can see, it's kind of a bright sunny day and I'm down a pond, a local pond fishing. I've not fished this particular pond in the past, but I've heard from a few people it's quite good for tench, and I really fancy some early season tench. Every year I kind of give it a go at this time of year when the weather starts to warm up and spring kicks in and the migratory birds are coming back. So yeah, I'm going to give it a go. The weather's been really cold the last 4 or 5 days. We've had a lot of hail, storm, we've had rain, wind, you name it really. I'm expecting more rain and wind today as well. So I've kind of positioned myself at the top of the lake, which is a bit sheltered. It's got some lily pads down the side here. And I've seen a couple of tench kind of crashing around already down the side, which is kind of a good sign. So my theory is I've got the kind of cold wind almost at my back. I guess when it's a warm wind, you fish with the wind facing into your face, so I should be down that end really, but because it's been so cold, I've come up this end just to get a bit of shelter as well. I've got 2 rods out for tench. I've got a sleeper rod down the side on the bite alarm. It's on a helicopter rig with a maggot feeder, maggots on the hook, and we'll just keep casting that out every 20 minutes, keep the maggots topped up, and I've also spotted some pellets over the top of that. And then next to me, I've got my float rod just cast out. It's only about 2 rod lengths out. It goes quite deep quite quickly, this lake, so it's probably about 8 foot where I'm fishing there, which feels enough. Again, I've got, there go the grey legs. I've got maggots on the hook there too, and it's just close enough to be kind of throwing the small 2mm pellets and some hemp over the top as well. So I much prefer float fishing if I can. I like to be able to watch the float and see what's going on, and you know, it's a much more pleasant thing than sort of sitting and listening to bite alarms all day. So yeah, so we'll give it a go. Wildlife wise, you know, we've got breeding birds on the pond already. I've seen coots, obviously there's grey legs we just saw there too. There's a reed bunting behind me that's been calling, which is a lovely kind of call. It sort of goes zup, zup, zup. We'll maybe listen to them a little bit later in the day. And we'll just see what else goes on. I mean, I am aware that, you know, there are ospreys in the area. That would be a real sighting if we see an osprey today, but I'll keep my eyes open. But apart from that, I'll cut the waffle and see if we get any tench. Oh, some big bubbles coming up there, beyond my float, sort of 3 or 4 meters beyond. But I keep seeing these sort of patches of bubbles appearing and disappearing, and I hadn't seen any activity in my swim at all until my float weight's under. So there's definitely fish out there feeding. It's just whether I can sort of attract them and hold them on the spot. So I keep feeding particles, I keep putting pellets in, a bit of hemp. I've got some small 2mm pellets as well, some krill pellets and some maggots, and just keep dropping it in and fingers crossed. Oh, look at that. Oh, the beep again. Not picking this up, but there's tench actually jumping out in the reeds there. I just watched a fish 2 or 3 times kind of surface, and then the final one it just jumped, got a really good view of it. Oh, I think they might. So I had a little dip there on the float. I just changed to worm, so seeing if that makes a difference. Ooh. Well, we're in. First proper bite. What have we got? Thumping around. Oh. Could it be a tench? Feels like it's getting bigger. It's a good way of going. Oh, it's really thumping. I'd say that was a perch actually, that banging around, but it's holding down on the bottom well. I think it might be a tench. Let's wait and see, shall we? First decent bite, float went under, and away we went. Let's have a look at it. Oh, I can see it. I think it is a tench, you know. Go on. Cetti's Warbler calling at the back there as well. Let's bring it in. What is it? Oh yes, it's a lovely tench. Lovely, that's what I came for. Right, let's get this landing net. It's over here. Stop it from getting in the side. Oh, cracking. Don't come off now. It's just starting to rain as well. Come on, there it is. Look at that tail. Come on. First tench session of the year and I've got one first go. Brilliant. Well, I've not got it yet. Shouldn't shout too soon. I'm playing it quite carefully. I don't want to lose this. It's a good looking tench. Come on you, that's it. Caught right in the top lip perfectly. Oh, fantastic. Oh, well, there we go. Let it rest up for a minute in the net and then we'll have a look at it. Right guys, well, that is a lovely start to the season really for me in terms of tench fishing. My PB is 4.5 pence. Oh, I've got a bite, sorry. False alarm. As I was saying, oh, it's a cracking start to the season. My PB was a 4.5 pounder that I remember from years ago. I don't think I've had anything bigger than that since, and this was 5 pounds on the nose. Beautiful male tench. You can see the really big fins there underneath the pelvic fins and the little bumps either side. These lovely little red eyes, gorgeous tiny kind of scale pattern, deep olive green, yellow, bright yellow underneath. Look at that. Beautiful, beautiful fish. I have to say they're probably one of my favourite fishes. I think it's so nice to get one on the bank. Wonderful. Right, I'll get him back. I say I've just had a bite on the feeder rod as well. I didn't connect with it, but maybe they're switching on. Who knows? Let's get this one back. You must have picked that up on the microphone. Oh, a little beep on the feeder rod. So that was a Cetti's Warbler right behind me there. A much bigger warbler than the kind of the willow warbler, the chiffchaff we were talking about a minute ago. Big brown warbler, a long tail, and they're one of these species that's been kind of slowly colonised in the UK again due to climate change. Just as we've seen like egrets and other species starting to kind of make the UK their home in the last sort of 10-15 years or so, then Cetti's warblers have become much more common. 10-15 years ago I'd have been so excited to hear that bird, and I'm still excited, but they're much more common now. They're much more common. Find them in reed beds, you know, a bit near waterways like this, so ideal habitat for them. And a lovely call. I can't really mimic it, so I'll just play it over the top here. You can listen to it. Oh, there's a carp just cruising under the surface there, right by my float. right now. Nice, about a double, I'd say. Off it goes. Oh. Well, there wasn't any bite there at all. I was literally just winding in to check the bait and to do a recast. And I immediately kind of felt resistance and a fish was pulling off. It felt like a good fish actually. But as I say, I think unless there was a fish sat there with the bait in its mouth and it just happened to strike, the way that it felt really solid and it came off and there was no bite, I think that was, I think I foul hooked it. It could have even been a bream, you know, there's some quite big bream in here as well, and it's quite easy to foul hook a bream. Big slab kind of going across the line or just pulling across it, so yeah, it's a shame. I'd like to see what that was. But again, it shows this fish down there. I mean, I'm not seeing any signs really. There's no bubbles. There's no sort of, you know, ripples. The fish aren't really coming up in the swim. But they're clearly there, and I think the bait I'm putting in is holding them as well and attracting them. So we'll stay positive. We've had one. We've had a few other bites as well. So there's fish in there. We just need to keep going. Oh, we're in. Yeah. Well, that's a proper take. On the feeder this time. Trying to keep it away from the float. It's going right where the float is at the moment. Come on. Feels like a good fish. It's about the third or fourth, I just saw it there, a good sized fish. Third or fourth bite I think I've had on the feeder line, but that was the first time I've really connected with anything. I think there's been quite a few line bites on it. If that is a tench, that's a good, no, it's a bream, yeah. Maybe that's what's going on. Big old slab. Still very welcome, I love a bream. I've had some good bream in here. And that is a good sized bream. Okay. Right. You see this all right? I'll move you over a bit. There we go. Oh, lovely. That could be a PB bream as well, you know. My PBs are all quite modest. And that is a good sized bream. Very nice, yeah, look at that, it's a proper dustbin lid. You see that down there? Fantastic. Well, I'll get the hook out and give it a rest. And give it a weigh and a look as well, I think. Let's have a look. Oh. I've zeroed the scales already. Put him in the plastic bag of indignity. There we go. I'd heard there was some good bream in this lake, so yeah, well, there you go. £7.6. Fantastic. Well, it's easily a PB bream for me by a long shot. So yeah, fantastic. What a fish! I'll take that any day, even though I'm on a tench day. Yeah, it's a cracking bream. Right, let's have a look at you. Now they are slimy devils, but when they get this big, they are like dustbin lids. Look at that. Absolute belter. What was that, £7.6? Beautiful bream, absolutely beautiful. I've put the feeder straight back out on the spot, just in case its shoal mates are there. I hope they are. But I hooked a fish earlier, you know, on the float line. I lifted into a fish as I was winding in, and I suspect I foul hooked one, and it could well have been a bream like this. You know, you can imagine a line going over the top of one of these fish, easily foul hooks them. So a little beep. I'm going to get this back. Right, that's me done. I'm all packed up, ready to go back to the car. I hope you enjoyed that. I know I certainly did. 2 PB fish, you don't get that every day. So I got a PB Tench, £5, not a monster, but you know, it's big for me. And a bream of, what was it, £7.6, so splendid. I'm really pleased with that. Plus a bunch of bites that I missed. I don't know quite what's going on there, but hey ho, this is what happens when you go fishing. I've got plans coming up in the next couple of weeks, so I'm going to go out fishing with Avon Angling. If you don't follow their channel already, I do encourage you to go and give it a watch. We're going to go to Linear for an overnighter, a 36-hour session, where they've got some really big tench, plus some carp and some bream as well. So same as today, but hopefully bigger fish. So if I set myself a new PB there of £5 tench, then I guess my goal for that session is to go that little bit bigger and see if we can get something a bit more than that. So yeah, if you're going out fishing yourselves, good luck, tight lines, and I'll see you in the next video.